Welcome back to the main stage where all day long we are talking about the future of logistics. We heard this morning from VDA President Müller about the importance of electrification, and I'm pleased to say that this afternoon's first keynote is on electrifying commercial vehicles. Please give a very warm main stage welcome to the CEO of MAN Truck and Bus, Alexander Vlaskamp.
Thank you, Sarah, for this nice introduction. Dear Minister Altusman, dear industry partners, dear ladies and gentlemen, I'm very pleased to speaking to you here today, right after the official start and our press conference of yesterday. Here at the IAA, it's great to be in touch again, great to meet, and it feels electrified to meet many of you, and it feels great to actually also bring electrification to our customers and to our visitors. On the press day yesterday, actually, in most of my interviews, the questions were circling around, okay, how and when and from where, etc. Will you do electrification and how will it go? And of course, that is the talk of the town, and that is very clear that that is something what we as an industry have to answer for our customers. And that is what I will be talking with you about today. Well, first of all, there is a very strong consensus that the man-made emissions on this globe, the greenhouse gases we are counterfeiting, we are responsible for. And it's all up to us, especially in the industrialized countries, to fix it again. And I think with our massive innovation, what we have here at Place in Germany and here at the showcase from many international exhibitors, we can fix this as well. That, I would like to say, is one of the positive things we can do as mankind as well. But if we don't succeed, we will destroy further livelihoods over and beyond 2050, where we want to actually meet the Paris Agreement to secure life and a sustainable planet for the future generations after us. That is what we're up to, and that is also what drives us at MAN Truck and Bus. Definitely, this is not only an industrial stake, this is also a political stake, what we have to take here, and also where the politicians have to take stand. The European Union has defined and also is following the climate agreement to become climate neutral by 2050. And this, of course, gives us, as MAN Truck and Bus, a legal certainty as well. And it gives us also then the ability to plan in the future. And not only to plan on our vehicles, but to plan also on the infrastructural, how we solved it. Coming back to where, when, and how, the opening question. For our industries, thus, 2050, to meet climate neutral transport, it means we have to start today, here and now. And yes, we can discuss a lot of obstacles and hurdles, but hey, we are all paid for to fix it, and that's where we're up to. So now we have to switch over and leave fossil-free drives. And of course, as a manufacturer of commercial vehicles, we are definitely called upon to deliver upon this. Because if we look to our CO2 footprint, 98% of the greenhouse gases what are produced during actually the operational time of our products. Meaning, when our trucks and buses go into operation at our customers, at that point of time, we are producing 98% of CO2 because of the use of fossil fuels. It's actually only some 2% in the whole pie where we see that the CO2 emissions are coming from our production footprint as well as from material footprint. Yet, therefore, we start first to focus on the use case and making sure we tackle the 98%. While, rest assured, we're also working already on a climate neutral footprint accordingly. But if we look a bit back, in the recent past, vehicles have become cleaner and cleaner. When it comes to various emissions, not only CO2, but also when it comes to NOx, which is good for the inner city life, but also HC, etc. And actually, when we take the data from the Federal Minister of Transport and Digital, it shows that between 1995 and 2019, around 26% of the CO2 emissions were saved in heavy trucks transportation. And that's a good sign, and that shows also the innovation power, what we jointly as industry have been delivering to actually the global warming. However, this efficiency gain per single unit has been actually wiped away by us here. By us here as a society, as our growth of society is triggering transportation. We all know about the .com, we all know about the last mile transportation, and it's not only the last mile, there are a lot of miles in between. And just to make it clear, we have reduced 26% per single unit CO2 reduction, but the total transport in the span 1995 to 2019, that actually has been growing by 78%. And while the globe is growing further, and while we can also expect that the African continent will develop further when it comes to economical power, transportation will grow on this globe. And that we have to make sure becomes sustainable. So this is definitely our driving willingness to change. To change, of course, the environment better for people, through the nations, and for its inhabitants. And this we do by supporting our customers on the journey to have a better, sustainable future in our societies. That means that to deliver on the MAN fleet 2050 climate neutral, we actually from 2040 have to deliver no fossil trucks anymore, in whatever mean of how we utilize this. And that we are committed to make sure we reach this up to 2040. So, starting from the beginning, what, where, how do we get there? Biofuels, synthetic fuels might be a possibility. However, they are a possibility actually to optimize the existing fleet, to make sure we are using biofuels in the existing fleet when it comes to, for instance, biogas, reusing the gas which is emitted from land masses. Synthetic fuels, yes, it's possible, but the conversion cost of producing from electricity, hydrogen, making sure you are actually building then oil chains or HC chains, they are too expensive. And they are too expensive for business to business. There is a better solution. And the better solution is battery electric vehicles, and maybe later on, when green hydrogen is sufficient available and when it is also to an attractive price, then it might be also a use case to use hydrogen as a range extender to support electric vehicles. We are testing it all. We are testing in Nuremberg, in our facilities, hydrogen combustion engines. We are testing fuel cell drives. And of course, the advantage of a hydrogen combustion engine is that basically we know the technology, we know how it works nowadays. It is quite mature when it comes to technology. It is available quickly, and it is based on established technology. Yet, we still need the green hydrogen molecules, and we still need the cost parity accordingly. And that is not available. It's not available for a hydrogen combustion engine. It's not available for fuel cell systems. Why? Because nowadays, if you fill up with hydrogen, 99.9 whatever percentage is hydrogen from natural gas. and that is not sustainable. And it costs, by the way, 13, 14 euros per kilo, and that is also not economical. So therefore, from our point, we will switch over much earlier to pure battery electric drives in our trucks, and as we also already see in our buses and city distribution. Because then we can purely deliver CO2-free commercial vehicles. And the reason for that is that we are much more efficient. We actually then utilizing 75% of the output energy, what we are producing at the wind power, at the solar power, or at any other means of clean production of energy, we use that directly into the battery drive. There are no more losses than up to 25%. The use of battery electric power is also much cheaper, as I mentioned, than hydrogen. And it's too volatile when it comes to availability of hydrogen in the coming 10 to 15 years. Furthermore, we also believe that when we get green hydrogen, we need this for the production of green steel, for instance here at the steel plant in Salzgitter, or we need it also for the production of green chemicals, where we stop making chemicals from various fossils and oils, so that we make chemicals also green accordingly, and make sure that, remember the 2% CO2 footprint of our production becomes also truly green when it comes to the raw materials. So what we at MAN Truck and Bus see is that E beats H2 for the years to come. As mentioned before, up until definitely within the next decade. So therefore, we are focusing on electrification. And we are building on our experience. Actually, MAN Truck and Bus already delivered 2011 hybrid buses, and numerous of thousands are on the roads in Europe and many cities across the world. And yesterday, we actually got here the award for our Lions 4 city, where, it is the range champion in the city, where we actually shown in a use case 550 kilometers drive into city operations. Furthermore, our European tour from Munich to Limerick and Ireland has been also showing that even traveling with a city bus is possible around Europe. And it is possible even with the existing pass car electrification and charging location. So here we are gaining a lot of experience on the use case and on utilizing batteries in the most efficient and best way. And also expanding the lifetime of batteries so that it is not only about recycling, because recycling, yes, of course, we are thinking about, but actually the best thing to not recycle is to make sure you are using your products really, really long in operation. Furthermore, we have gained a lot of experience by the small series of our all-electric distribution trucks, which we have been delivering in many countries in Europe and in many different use cases. Refrigerating truck, garbage collecting truck, hook lift, you name it. And we have performed 1.5 million kilometers up so far to make sure we really know what is happening in all the different use cases. Furthermore, when it comes to the last mile distribution, the all-electric van, our TGE, completes our portfolio and is definitely also delivering up to a lot of experience. More than 1,000 units are cruising around the cities actually and delivering maybe your packages today, here and now. And now we are on the brink to actually electrify our truck range. We have been showing it yesterday in our press conference, and I'm really proud what our engineers, our production engineers, but also our sales and services team has been brought up to. That right now we are ready to roll out 2024 battery electric truck range including also mega charging standard to make sure it is operational and it can be used in many varieties of use case. The centerpiece of this new e-truck range is the new vehicle battery, of course. It's optimized for heavy load traffic. It's optimized for long endurance. We're talking about 1.5 to 2 million kilometers where we actually expect our vehicles to be in operation with our customers. It contains up to 6 battery packs accordingly, and they are mounted modularly along the chassis, so you can also vary in the different use cases the number of battery packs and also the position, so that you all the time also can utilize your crane, your hook lift, etc. So this is allowing our customers to actually sorrow-free step into the area of electrification. As mentioned before, a very important, actually, a piece of interface, and that is the megawatt charging capability. This is what we believed is necessary to seriously enroll an electrified truck range. Because from 2024, when we go into series, then we seriously can actually opt a truck range where you can operate in a normal operation up to 800 kilometers per day. While during the break, during the necessary break of 45 minutes, you as a truck driver take also the chance to recharge the battery up to 70 or 80%. Furthermore, why we're also convinced that E beats hydrogen is that the battery development goes in fast pace. We already see that it is happening now. We see improvements on the chemicals. We see improvements through our own experience that through our battery software, we can actually condition the battery much better, much longer, and also prevent from having to recycle the battery accordingly. So tackling this obstacle, we are truly believing that this is the right way to go. But now, of course, it's also to scale up in production. And we have actually announced a 100 million euro investment in the industry landscape in Germany. We are really proud that our engineers, as well as together also with our employees, that we could decide for Nuremberg. For Nuremberg to decide on a battery plant where we invest 100 million euro to scale up production by 2025 and onwards. And that makes it then possible to produce seamlessly next to actually or on the same production line in Munich where the conventional vehicles are produced, battery electric vehicles. Where we have an innovative production system which actually makes it possible that the same line, at the same takt flow, we can produce combustion as well as battery electric. And why is that important? Well, if the scale-up goes faster, we don't have to scale up a small assembly line for battery vehicles only. Then actually we can run out up to, in Munich, 130, 150 trucks per day, when we fix, of course, the supply of the rest of the batteries and all the other systems. But it is about the main line, it is about this main investment, what we've done in the production capability. Furthermore, we are working hard on the next missing link. The trucks we have, the mega charging standard we have, but now we need other means. We need the electrons flowing in at the depot logistics or at the various charging stations along the highway. And this is where we call for action. We call for action towards the politics to make sure that we are paving the way for electrifying along the highways. We already take leap ahead here. We take leap ahead in a joint venture under the umbrella of TRATON Group, together with our sister brand Scania, plus also together with Volvo Group and with Daimler Group, investing in a joint venture to build up the next 5 years 1,700 charging locations around the main roads in Europe. But we need political support to do this faster, to break down bureaucracy and make sure we are getting the green electrons from the windmills, from the solar power along the highways into the trucks. This is right now the biggest challenge to tackle, and we urge the politicians to step up here. Let's make sure we don't delay here. MAN Truck and Bus have the buses, have the truck range in place. We have the concepts for mega charging. We are investing in charging locations ourselves. We need the politics to drive onwards. Let's make sure we deliver for a zero-emission future tomorrow. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Alexander Vlaskamp and MAN Trucks. You guys have a booth. There's more information there, and I'd encourage you to check it out. If you're joining us on the web stream, welcome. If you're joining us here for the afternoon, a warm welcome to you. Our next guest is the Niedersächsische Minister für Wirtschaft, Arbeit, Verkehr.
Our next guest is the Minister of Economy, Labor, Transport and Digitalization in Lower Saxony. We welcome Dr. Bernhard Altosmann. Ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you in the name of the Lower Saxony, state of Lower Saxony. Here in the Lower Saxony, we have a very small